Welcome to the best podcast in the world. I'm King Gerald Jones, and this is King's Corner. Y'all remember me and y'all know me. The King is back. I've been doing this podcast like 8 years ago. Before Samuel, what's the guy's name? Samuel Jackson? What's his name? Samuel Edwards, whatever his name is. Before him, before all these people have been doing. Just think about 8 years ago when you was listening to podcasts. There wasn't podcasts. I was the podcast king, and I'm back, and I'm here for you. This is strictly King's Corner, and this is strictly King's Talk, Kings and Queens Talk. If you can't handle real king and queen talk, and I'm not just talking king, because everybody's saying this king and queen stuff. So when I say good morning, kings and queens, I'm talking about the real kings and queens that understand that there's more than one piece and more than two pieces on the chessboard. Let's get into it. So the topic of today, as you may have read, is why don't men provide and protect anymore? I got this topic from looking on social media.
Lately, like, I always be asking my friends, like, do y'all feel like the value of women to guys have went down, or guys just don't, respect us, appreciate us how they used to back in the 80s and the 90s, like.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot where women are saying that men are providing and protecting. And I think it's valid. I think that the question is valid. I think what's going on is real in the world. But you also have to take in account what community of men aren't providing and protecting. I will address my community, the black community. I can't really speak on the white community because it seems like they're doing what they're supposed to do. I don't know. But we're going to talk about my community and the women saying that there's not enough men providing or they don't want to provide and protect. I know from my perspective, and I've talked to several other men. I might have something called King's Corner. Never mind. I won't give you guys too much information. We're going to talk about King's Corner. So I do believe men aren't providing. I agree with the women. Men aren't providing and men aren't protecting anymore. But with good cause, in my opinion, with good cause. And I say that primarily, there's a list of reasons we're going to get into, but primarily, I think one of the major things for me, I don't know other men, but for me, a king, the real king, the reason why I'm not too hype, I can provide and protect, but the reason why I'm not too hype in doing it is because of social media. Now, let me paint this picture for you. Years ago, when I was growing up, there was no social media. In tow, you weren't able to see your homeboy's girlfriend, woman, wife on social media. Hypothetically, let's say you thought she was attractive. All you would get to see is her in her element of being dressed, whether it's at school, whether it's at work, wherever you saw her, you could, if you were doing this, you can only imagine what she looked like in the bedroom. You can only imagine what she would look like bent over. You can only imagine what she looked like in a two-piece. You can only imagine what she looked like in panty and bra. But now, it's not that anymore. Fast forward to today. You can walk down the street, see your home, or meet your homeboy, walk down, whatever you walk down the street, meet your homeboy, wherever you meet your homeboy, and he's with his woman. And get to know his woman or talk to his woman or whatever the case may be, and go to your homeboy's Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever. You can go on his page and see his woman. Not only can you see his woman, you can see his woman in the buff. You can see his woman nowadays. It's like a trend. I don't understand why women think it's so nice for them to be shaking their asses, shaking their butts, twerking as they call it, on camera for everybody, for nothing. So now you can see your homeboy's woman on social media dressed scantily clad, no clothes on, shaking her ass, and you can slide in her DM. Again, rewinding. When I was growing up, these things weren't these. You couldn't do this. All you could do, you didn't even know if a woman was a hoe or not. You didn't even know what she thought. Nowadays, these women have these platforms and they can speak their mind. They have no uh, extracurricular education. They have no advanced education. They have no therapy, no kind of sense of themselves, but they can get on this platform and they can say whatever they want, say whatever they little life has taught them with all full emotion, no holds barred. And guess what? It's like the blind leading the blind. So another woman hears it and think it's Bible or think it's truth and runs with it. When the case is, this is not true. I said all that to wrap that up to say men are providing because it's a different environment. It's a different woman now. I know what I want from a woman. I know I don't want a woman that's twerking on, I'm going to treat her like she's a twerker or a worker. I don't want my woman on social media shaking her ass. It's like it's the thing to do. They have desensitized twerk, like it's not even a thing anymore. Like that, everybody is going to do it, and that's far from the truth. I don't want to see my woman or a woman of interest of mine on social media in her panties and bra shaking her ass. And it's gotten even worse, but we're going to keep it at that. The shaking. I'm not going to mention what else. You guys see it. You guys know it goes further than that. We're just going to keep it at the shaking your ass in the dress tone, in the dress code. So I think primarily social media is the reason why men, and I think men can and are willing to provide and protect, but I think the generation of women are the kind of women that are asking these things, and the irony that you're asking a man to provide and protect, you're not even protecting yourself. You're not even protecting your character. You're not even protecting your womanhood. You're not even protecting the name of the future man or husband you want to have. You're not protecting. So how do you want him to, in tow, come into your life and be a protector to something that's not meant to be protected? And I know we living in a different age and generation, and I do want to get to that. Society has made it a point to make women equal to men. They have made it a point for them to be equal physically. They have made it a point for them to be equal financially, which in tow is going to make them feel like they're equal mentally. When I say financially, you guys know what I'm saying. I'll say this too. A lot of women want you to take them on dates. And I'm not against that. And I'm sure a lot of men not against that. But now, do we know what men taking women out on dates derive from? Men work the quarters and created to take women on dates because, rewinding, women weren't making any money. Women weren't even allowed to make money. And if they did make money, it was like little house chores or little wash jobs or maid jobs, but they didn't have any money. So you had to, as a man, if you wanted to court or talk to a woman, you had to pay for the movie and a dinner because I will hope you would be a working man and you're making more money. The women really didn't make money. So that's where that was created. But I think the Western Hemisphere has created this this equality for women. So now it's not even about, and I know a lot of women say, well, I want the old thing back. I want an old school man. But you guys want an old school man, but you guys have these new school behaviors. If I remember correctly, and if I know correctly, and if I saw correctly, the old school women, they didn't have several sex partners. They didn't have all this going on. They was interested in one man and one man courting them alone. But social media and these stars, women primarily, have created this image or created this woman of the new 2022 that feels it's okay to be promiscuous. And that's cool. I'm not against that. You can do what you want to do. I'm not against whatever you want to do, but know that there's a consequence that comes with that. So do not want to be this 2022 woman, but want these old school behaviors from these men. It just doesn't add up. It's not going. And like I said, this is real king talk. This is real king and queen talk. If you're not into the real king and queen talk, I mean, I'm going to invite you to exit, but I will hope you wouldn't, so you can learn something. But this is real king. This is not the king and queen stuff that they talking about. This is real king, where we're going to get down to the dirty truth. And this is the king's corner. We call it the king's corner because when you're backed in the corner, we're going to give you the real information. When you're backed in the corner, you can't do nothing but give the real information. When you're backed in the corner, all you can do is press forward. So we're going to press forward with this real information. We're going to press forward with the truth. And another thing I wanted to touch on, as far as women, society creating the equality for women, even protecting women. Protecting women today is not what protecting women was back when you guys are trying to insinuate. Because you guys don't know, I just call it insinuation. Because if you really knew, protecting really meant I protect my woman physically. Like we had our hut, tent, house, whatever you want to call it. And if somebody came into the home, I had to physically protect my family. There was no police officer. And I'm not against police officers. It is what it is. I don't want to make that the topic, but there just wasn't police officers to protect. So men had to really be strong and have to protect their. But that's been done away because they have tried to create equality. So the same police force that they created, I mean, it's cool. It's a benefit for the weaker. I know why it was. Like I said, we'll talk about it later. I don't want to get too much on the police force or policing. We policed ourselves, so I don't want to get too much on the policing. But I do want to say the protecting element is gone. And it's an agenda. It's something that they've consciously done. It's something that they've created to make you fall in line with society, with their societal standards. I mean, this is my opinion. It's king shit. It's real king shit. I think, and I'm just gonna say it, I think women want you to pay for their pussy nowadays. They're creating that image. And if you don't, that's cool, but you guys are eluding this type of image. You guys are attracting this kind of standard for yourself, this way of life. I really sincerely in my heart think that women think that a man's supposed to pay for their vagina. I've heard it. And a lot of women are saying no, but I really think that's the standard of today. If you really look at what's going on and the bag and the money and who's getting, and don't get me wrong, I'm also used and understand that the king does get the spoils. I do understand that. I do absolutely agree and understand. But who are you as a woman? You have to ask yourself, who are you? What are you attracting? What are you putting out there? Are you, in fact, looking for a king? Or are you looking for a gesture to make him pay for your pussy? Are you looking for a king who's deserving of it? Or are you looking for a knight to pay for your pussy? You have to ask yourself those questions. Because if he's a real king, like I said, we're not talking that bullshit king. If he's a real king, he's not about to pay for your pussy. That's just facts. Even if we look back into, you guys always talking about the old times, but I think y'all be channeling in on misinformation. Because to be honest, let's talk dowries. The dowry was set for the parents of a woman to give to a king or give to the mate or give to the man. But again, this is real king talk. I don't know where they get I do know where they get. Society is forcing this into you. Society is pushing this into you. Society. But guess what, y'all? I'm back. I'm King Gerald Jones and I'm here and I'm back. You guys are going to listen to what I have to say. I'm back. This is real king talk. I can't express it enough. This is real king talk and real queen talk. If you can't handle it, that's cool. Go with the fake kings, go with the fake queens, but this is real. So when I say good morning, kings and queens, I'm talking to the real ones. I'm not talking to the fake ones. Next thing I want to touch on is these podcasts. I am the podcast king. We're going to crown me now. I am the podcast king. I've been doing this. This is not a podcast, and this is what I learned. This is what I've been watching and seeing as the podcast king. This is what I've been watching and seeing. I've seen people, men, target women. And when I say target women, I can write a treatment right now that caters to the emotions of a woman. And I'm going to get all the praise and all. This not that shit. This is not that. This is real shit. This not that bullshit. And I've been watching men podcasters do that. I've been watching y'all, and your time is up. Fucking with me, your time is up. And I think I'm gonna start. I'm gonna give you a chance to get it together. But I think I'm gonna start zero, and we're gonna put them off with their heads. We're gonna off their heads, and I'm gonna put them in a dunce corner. But you know who I'm talking about. You men that are zeroing in on these women and telling them what they want to hear and feeding their emotions instead of feeding the logic, instead of feeding the fact, instead of feeding growth. I'm on your ass. I see you, and I'm coming for you. I think I am. And it's off with your heads, and we're going to put you in the corner with the dunce hat. With that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and end today's show. But I want to say this. In answer to my topic, why aren't men providing and protecting women anymore? I think we're willing to. I think we want to. I think we're able to. But the women that we were trained to recognize as women, we don't see that. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We rarely see that anymore. It's there, it's out there, and it's another thing I want to say. I do understand that as men, when we're given information, we kind of focus on the negative. We kind of, because we're we're focused on the negative because we're trying to get shit right. And sometimes the good shit don't get appreciated and it don't get its flowers and it don't get praised. So I do want to give the praise to the women that know what real womanhood is and doing y'all real shit. I've had them. I know them. They are there, and I've had that in past, not too recently, but I've had women in past say like, "Well, Gerald, you always focus on or all women not like that," and I get that. I absolutely get that, and maybe because I'm uh, out here trying to kill the bullshit, that I might skip over the good women and don't really allude or show that there are good women out here, but there are, and they understand it and they get it. They're far and few between, but they are out here. And I do want to give y'all the flowers. I want to give y'all the understanding that we see y'all. Because we know, and that's another thing I tell a lot of women, or I tell women when I'm dating, is that I had a mom, and I had aunties. I have a sister. I have female cousins. So you can't pull that bullshit on me. Like I know what a woman gonna do if she love you. I know what a woman gonna do if she wants you in her life. I know what a woman gonna do when she wants you in her corner. So, and I feel sorry for these men. We gonna help you men out too. If you want to be a real king, we gonna help you out too in understanding what you should have and what you should be providing too, what you should be. It's not just, and I want to say this too before I go, it's not just about what a woman is doing and ain't doing. You got a job to do too. As a man, you have a role to play. You have things you need. It's a tough one too. Mentally, you start mentally. We're gonna get into that. Mentally, financially, and physically, you have a job to do as well. So again, I just wanted to give y'all this first bar of real king talk, not the bullshit king talk, but the real king talk. This is King's Corner. I am King Gerald Jones, and for you fake podcast people, I'm coming for you. I am the king. Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Blow my show up.